Saturday, platter day. It's Saturday night and we're having a platter for dinner. Why? Because we don't fucking cook on Saturday nights. We only ever eat a platter. And tonight, we're using this platter. It's got lemons on it. It's a platter for one. The kids are also having a platter and we're using these ones. Now I pre-washed and chopped. Well, let's face it, I bought those already chopped. But I've got my fruit and veg ready to go to make things a bit faster. And tonight hubby's away, so he'll be back later tonight, but after dinner, so I'll be running solo, hence the platter for one, which means I can put things on there that only I would eat, which is great. Now I'm going to talk about things in my TikTok feed, as I always do, and then I will repost the videos so that if you want, you can go ahead and view them. All right, as always, we start with the cucumber. I did go to Costco today and buy some things, but these are already in the fridge from yesterday, so I'm going to get rid of them. All right, so what happened this week on my feed? Obviously, the Emmys was on. Would you like to watch the fashion? But I tell you what, who was the star of the Emmys for me? Those who know me will know what I'm going to say. Joshua Jackson. Hello, Joshua Jackson. You are looking fine, my friend. You have aged so well. I, of course, am a Dawson's Creek fan. I'm also a Mighty Ducks fan. Remember when he was Charlie and Gordon Bombay and the Mighty Ducks, remember? I remember. A little obsessed, right? First he was in the Mighty Ducks and then he was Pacey in Dawson's Creek. Pacey and Joey forever. Yeah. And then I think he was in Fringe, but I never actually watched that. But I loved The Affair. You ever watch The Affair with Joshua Jackson? He was like Cole. He played like a sort of a rancher, bit of a bad boy. Anyway, so good. And then I saw him at the Emmys, and when he walked out on stage, and then what plays but bloody Paula Cole? I don't want to wait for our lives to be over. Yeah, right, Dawson's Creek. Love it. And I love that they surprised him with that. Apparently, although they played it in rehearsal, he didn't know they were actually going to do that during the Emmys. Fabulous. He's looking fine. Yeah, I know he's married and everything. Don't worry about it. Was he married? I know he's got a girlfriend. He was married, and I think they divorced and they've got a young child. I think he's actually got a girlfriend. But anyway, not that it matters. Not that I'm bloody, is he my hall pass? Who knows? Probably. I've got some of these little cucumbers too. I'm just going to chop them up because, as I said, I bought like a couple of kilos. They're so cute. They're like little gherkins. Do I have to even chop them? Anyway, yes, the first thing is Joshua Jackson all over my feed since I saw that on the Emmys, and I've liked it. Now all these sort of Joshua Jackson clips from Dawson's Creek are coming up on my feed, and I am loving it. All right, let's talk about a funny video that came up. There was this, I think she's British, this girl telling this story about when she was working in retail, and this lady came to return a hat. And she said, I want to return this hat. I've never worn it. And she begins to show her the hat, and it's covered in yogurt. But the creator who's telling the story says yogurt, which is just really addictive with her accent. So the hat is covered in yogurt, and the woman herself is covered in yogurt, and she's got the tub of the yogurt over one of her hands. And she says, and the hat is covered in yogurt, and she wants to return it. The retail assistant, she just works there. What does she give a shit? She's like, all right. So she returns it, and she's like, this is a couple of years ago. And I still think about that woman from time to time and wonder how she's doing. And, it's just a prime example of someone who just works there. They don't have time to say to the woman, obviously, it is a lot of cucumber. Obviously, she shouldn't be returning it because it was covered in yogurt. She was rather impressed that she didn't get yogurt all over the store. And, commitment to the bit. It was great. It's a funny video. I'll repost it. Another one that I thought was really funny, like I was laughing out loud funny. This creator that I follow, I don't know if I follow her, but I certainly watch her videos. Her name is Anya. I think she's Polish, and she's sort of, had her struggles in her childhood. She was in an orphanage. I watched her when she had hardly any followers. She's like a mum. She used to live in this like one-bedroom apartment with her husband, her 2 children, and like some random dude who was like a flatmate. And I used to watch her content. She'd do cleaning videos, makeup videos, postpartum sort of videos. Anyway, I really liked her. But over time, she's really grown a following. She's got like 700,000 followers. And she's got this really sort of unique accent and voice, which, it's kind of soothing. And she sort of talks about how much she loves makeup. She was trying to lose weight. She's lost a shitload of weight. She's looking fabulous, might I add. Anyway, there's this video of her husband. She cooks these meals for her husband, and she calls him Bebe. Bebe, Bebe. Helicopter. She cooks these meals, which, have a look. I'm not the best cook, so I'm not going to criticize, but I don't know. Some of those meals, I don't know if if it's a bit, if it's a setup, is it a skit? I don't know, or are they the real meals? I'm not entirely sure. Whatever it is, it's funny, man. So there's this guy who's just discovered her videos, right? And her husband also has a TikTok account, which I think he created because she started making bank from her TikToks, like serious bank. And you know that because she doesn't live in that one-bedroom apartment anymore. She upgraded to a house. She's like, oh, I'm so grateful for all my followers. I now live in this house they're renting. But, you know, certainly an upgrade. She takes her kids out to buy lovely toys and stuff. So good on her. Anyway, back to the husband. So she makes these meals for her husband. A lot of her content is her making meals. And her husband has to eat these meals, right? So she'll make the meal and she'll be like, ba, try this meal. I've made something Mexican for you. And like, it just doesn't look appetizing. It looks a bit, you know, slop. It doesn't look great. Anyway, to his credit, it's a bit of water. To his credit, he eats them. So this creator has kind of said, I came across the husband's video of him sitting in the car, pigging out on a Taco Bell. And it says in the caption at the top, please don't tell my wife, I just want to eat some normal food. And it has like 10 million views, 1 million likes. He's like, what's going on here? So then he then discovers Anya, the wife's page, and her meals. And he does this great little summary video of some of the things she does when she cooks. Like she'll get her hairspray and the meal will be here, or not hairspray, face spray. And she'll spray her face, you know, and the meal's like there. And she'll kind of, you know, put her nails in the chicken and get the packet and kind of smush it in there. And it's very, very funny. You have to watch his summary video because you'll be in stitches. And as I said, I followed her before, so when I was watching it, I'm like, he's 100% right. She is like that. And as I said, I don't know if it's meant to be comedy or if it's how it's supposed to be. It's very, very funny. So these have got seeds, right? And I'm the only really one in the family who likes grapes with seeds, but I bought these livery. They're like muscat grapes, great with cheese. Because, you know, platter for one, bitches. And I can have all those grapes right there. It's going to be a great night. I'm going to watch some of my own TV shows. And I've got this entire tzatziki I'm going to eat for myself. The kids are going to have this hummus. I'll scoop it out. Got these dolmades, which are marinated. Didn't make last week's platter. They're making it hit now. I feel like I've done this in all in one take. Could I make this whole platter in one take? No, I'm not going to be able to. I've got to drain the juice. I was on a good run. Okay, I'm going to give the kids some Devon because they love it. And a couple of sticks of Twiggy sticks. And now something else came in my feed. It was this woman who said she was wearing a silk outfit to work. And then a guy at work's like, well, you're wearing pajamas to work? And she was like, yeah, this is silk. This isn't polyester. What an outrage. And then she showed us what it looks like. And I'm sorry, guys, they're fucking pajamas. I don't know what sort of scam you're buying there. Who told you they're not? They're pajamas, yeah. Pretty funny. And I'm not sure, again, if it was a bit or if she was aware of it. Anyway, you judge for yourself whether you think they're pajamas. And the other piece of news, of course, some people may or may not know this, but I originally started my TikTok channel by posting videos of when I was on the Insight program on SBS talking about my prenup, because I'm a divorce lawyer with a prenup, right? And in it, in my prenup is a clause that I get to keep all my Tupperware. Yeah, true story. Why? Because I've been accumulating Tupperware for like 20 years and I've got like shitloads of it. So I thought it was important to include. Anyway, Tupperware this week went bankrupt. I don't know if you know that, but yeah, apparently they're looking for someone to sort of save the company. And I think that's American Tupperware, and I don't know if it's Australian. Because, you know, they just kind of failed to modernise and move with the times when traditionally they would have those parties. Crackers or bread? Let's do bread. You know, those Tupperware parties, yeah. I used to love them. My sister used to sell Tupperware. Avo. And that's why I have a lot of it, because I used to go a lot of the parties with her and she would accumulate a lot of Tupperware and encourage me to buy it to support her business. Very funny. All right, kids love avocado. I'm going to give them some and give me some. Okay, I've got my Sicilian marinated olives. The kids and I are going to watch Paddington Bear tonight. We're going to eat our platter and watch Paddington Bear, which sounds great. Okay, kids are going to have this sliced cheese and I'm going to have the Mersey Valley cheese. I won't eat the whole block, although let's face it, I could. Because, you know, cheese is like the greatest thing ever. So I'll chop up this cheese and then I've got to chop up the bread and we'll see if we've got room for the gherkins. If we do, then we'll put gherkins. And if I've got fresh bread, then I love to have a little bit of olive oil to dip it into. So I'm going to fit it. It's a small platter. It's going to work. Don't worry about it. I'm going to top up the tzatziki with just some plain Greek yogurt and lemon, salt and olive oil. Squeeze the day. Chopping a fresh baguette. Olive oil. Kids' platter is done. Platter's done, bitches.